Hello everyone, Health Boss Jessie Xylia here, helping you to learn how to be your own health boss and how to lose weight without exercise. Not sure how to light the fire for your weight loss? By the end of this video, you'll have a simple, easy to follow guide so that you can understand and implement the 5-2 diet to jumpstart the fat burning process. For the best scientifically driven ways to lose excess weight when you don't have time for the gym, subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you're the first to know when I release a new video every week. One of my first weight loss clients used the 5-2 diet tools that I'll be sharing with you today in this video to lose 22 pounds of excess weight over a few months. It was so effective that her partner, who had previously poo-pooed the whole program, he jumped on board with her and he lost weight too. This video is for people who haven't yet tried the 5-2 diet and want to lose some excess body fat. I have 5 pointers to share with you today, so even though it's tempting just to sort of find out what my 5 points are, it's not the what that matters so much as the how to implement and understanding the rationale behind the points that matters. So stick with me through this video and we'll get through these points. The first thing to understand is what is and what is not the 5-2 diet. If you're not familiar with the 5-2 diet, it's pretty simple. Basically, for 5 days out of the week, you eat how you normally would, and for 2 days out of the week, you have a restricted calorie diet. Now, those 2 days don't have to be consecutive, but for women generally, it's 500 calories on those 2 days, and those are called fasting days, even though you're actually eating food. So it's kind of a misnomer, but that's what it's called. And for men, it's 600 calories a day. Now, there have been some updates to that, and it's possible that's been bumped up to 800 calories now for men and women, but I don't like to risk it because already when we count calories, studies show that we do a really terrible job of it. And studies also show that packaged foods that have the calories on them, that they tend to not be too accurate, and they can be inaccurate by up to 20%. So I like to stick with the 500, 600 calories for your fasting days. And not only do the 2 fasting days not have to be consecutive, but the times that you're eating within those fasting days, it doesn't have to be all at once, and it doesn't have to be spread throughout the day. You can do whatever you want. So some people choose to save it for one regular sized meal, and some people kind of just want to graze during the fasting day. That really depends on your personality. This brings me right along to point number 2, and that is what is not the fasting diet or the 5-2 diet, what your 5 days are not supposed to be. And they're not supposed to be days where you go hog wild. I kind of hate that term, but that's the term I'm using because that's something that some people fall into. They fall into this trap where they're eating just limited calories for 2 days a week, and so they think that gives them permission to essentially undo all of the good that they're doing with those 2 fasting days by going kind of nuts on those 5 days. And if you want to try this and you find yourself doing that, then stop the diet completely, because it means it's not working with your personality. You need to do something different. But what you're supposed to do on those 5 regular days, you're just supposed to eat regularly, eat normally. It doesn't mean that you can't have a treat here and there, but it needs to be strategic and nothing more than what you would normally do. Point number 3, to jumpstart your weight loss with the 5-2, I guess I call it diet. It's really more of an eating protocol. But anyhow, make sure that you are eating bulky, water-containing fruits and vegetables. That might sound boring to some of you, but trust me, it works, because the foods that already contain water within them, they are naturally bulky. First of all, they're calorically dilute, which is great for you, and they tend to be nutrient dense. Adding water to dry food does not metabolize the same way. Your body goes through it a lot more quickly. The foods that naturally contain the water and the fiber along with it, it's slow to digest, so at least it sticks with you and it makes you feel fuller for longer. It's really important on your fasting days for the 5-2 diet if you want to stick with it. What are some of your favorite bulky, water-heavy fruits and vegetables that keep you personally fuller for longer? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your take on this. This brings me to point number 4 with the bulky foods. So if I say, oh, eat a salad, some people are going to be turned off by that. But let me just tweak that a little bit. First of all, if you want something cold, a salad is a good option. But if you're thinking kind of like, about salad, then do yourself a favor and add a little bit of fat. I know that fat is calorically dense, and so you're not going to really have a lot of room to play with there for your fasting days. But make sure that you reserve a little bit of those calories for fat to have with your bulky foods together, because the fat along with the bulk, it's going to make everything stick even longer. So a little bit of fat goes a long way. It can really help satiate you and just satisfy you mentally as well. And if you haven't seen my What I Eat a Day video that I halfway recently posted, I'll put that right here. Now, this is when I'm on a high carb protocol, which is not always what I do, but if that's something that you're into or looking into, then you might want to check that out. This brings me to my 5th and final point, which is know thyself. Are you a cheater? Are you a food cheater? Or are you the kind of person who, once you start eating, you can't stop? Because knowing yourself really well is going to inform how you plan out your fasting days. For example, if you know you are a cheater, what do I mean by cheating? I guess what I don't even really like that term because it can trigger some people, but what I mean by that is usually it's going to be, people say carbs. That's such a misnomer. It's not carbs. It's carbs and fat mixed together. Those are really what are not great for us. So when you like simple carbs and fat, so like cupcakes, those aren't just carbs. There's a ton of fat in cupcakes. I love cupcakes, but that's what we think of when we think of sort of like a cheater food. There's nothing wrong, meaning like in terms of psychology, emotion, like you're a bad person. There's no judgment there for these foods, but there can be better choices. However, it's not that you can't eat these things on the 5-2 diet. Just make sure that if you're really wanting them on your fast day, do yourself a favor with this little trick. Write yourself a note and put down what it is that you're craving, and then just say to yourself, I can have this tomorrow. And that little trick really, really helps. And the other trick with knowing thyself, so this point number 5 is kind of like 2 tips in one, is that if you are a grazer, and if you know that once you start eating, you can't stop, then that means that you probably need to try to push out when you first start eating on your fasting days. Now, if you're a light grazer and you just know you can have like sort of a nibble here and there, that's fine, but you're very rare. Most people, if they feel like that once they eat, they can't stop, they're talking about regular quantities of food. So if that is you, that fits your personality, you're going to want to push your the start of your eating on your fasting days until later. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it, because I'm going to be putting out some tips about what to do while you're intermittent fasting, and if you do need to push off that hunger, what to do when you're hungry. These tips alone can give you a big boost in attaining your weight loss goals, especially if you're new to the 5-2 intermittent fasting protocol. So now that you know how to use 5-2 as a tool to help jumpstart your weight loss, what do you do when you're hungry on your fasting days? How are you supposed to stave off that hunger if you plan to, push your eating window, so to speak, during your fasting days? I've created a free 1-pager that addresses this just for you. So you can hit me up, save it on your phone, and then during your fasting days, if you're feeling a little hungry, but you don't want to eat just yet because you know that's not the right timing for you, and if you're needing a little immediate support, you can bring up that little guide, and I'll be there to help you in your pocket on your phone. So if you want this free guide, just hit me up. Email me. My email is in the description box below. This is my email address. It will be going to me and I will be getting back to you. I don't have any automation or any of that. So hit me up. Just let me know that you want the free guide of how to deal with fasting hunger on the 5-2 diet, and I will send that to you. Also, be sure to check out these videos next to see how I personally got to my weight loss goals, which is one way that I've helped lots of others do the same. And I'm also going to have these videos available for you in the iCards. If you like this video, giving it a thumbs up and subscribing and sharing, it really helps me out, it helps out the channel, and it also helps to reach other people who could need the same information. Plus, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Thanks so much for being a part of this community, and until next time, ciao.